Hello, coolers. Welcome back to Viva Barca and welcome to the home of everything Barcelona, where we are going to be discussing on some interesting developing stories. We start with Ansu Fati, as it has been reported that the Barcelona wonder kid is frustrated and very disappointed after national team snub. Of course, Luis Enrique did not call Ansu Fati to the Spanish national team, and he is frustrated about that. We are going to be discussing on it as we progress. Then secondly, talking about Memphis Depay, as it has been reported that manager Xavi is delighted with the attitude of the Barcelona striker after a topsy-turvy summer. We are also going to be discussing on that. So guys, as we get right into it, please do ensure to subscribe, turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch right up to the very end. Late last week, Luis Enrique announced the Spain squad for the upcoming UEFA Nations League fixtures against Switzerland and Spain, which will be La Roja's final assignments before the FIFA World Cup in November. And why as many as 6 Barcelona players were selected by the Spain manager, there was only one notable omission in the form of Ansu Fati. Enrique cited the 19-year-old wonderkid's lack of stats as a reason for excluding him. Even though he was happy to select Jordi Alba, he has not played much this season either. Now, as reported by Adrian Sanchez, Fati has been left frustrated and disappointed after being snubbed by Luis Enrique from the Spain squad. The former Barca manager had called the teenager up during the last international break, even though he was returning from a lengthy injury spell and had not played regularly for a while. While Fati did not get any minutes with Spain during that call-up, he was still brought in to be a part of the squad, indicating that he would be a part of the team's plans for the World Cup. However, the latest snub cast shadows over whether Ansu Fati will be on the plane to Qatar come November. The update from Adrian Sanchez also adds that La Masia graduate Ansu Fati is having problems to get back to his best level on the pitch after the injury layoff he has experienced over the past 2 years. Barcelona manager Xavi has been using Fati very cautiously so as to avoid any relapse of injuries, but the regulated game time is not exactly helping the teenager get back to his rhythm either. With not much time left before the World Cup, the upcoming month could be key in defining Fati's fortunes, as Barcelona will be playing 2 games every week until early November, and Xavi will be forced to rotate his troops regularly. Ansu Fati, of course, have been fit this season, playing some games and mostly coming from the bench because Xavi wants to, prevent any unforeseen circumstances when it comes to Ansu's injury. We all know Ansu Fati have been suffering from injury for the past 2 years, which have been really frustrating to all Barca fans and the player himself. And of course, Dr. Ricard Prona, who was reappointed as the medical doctor for Barcelona again when Xavi took over the reins, is doing so well to ensure that Ansu Fati stays fit. And of course, through Dr. Ricard Prona's advice, Xavi have been cautiously using Ansu Fati in games. Of course, never can we see Xavi using Ansu Fati all the 90 minutes like before, all because they want to make sure Ansu Fati is 100% fit all the time. But not like Ansu Fati will never play full time. But just for now, since it has not been too long Ansu Fati came from injury, it will not really make sense for Xavi to start using Ansu Fati all the time for full 90 minutes. And luckily enough, Barca have that squad depth that, even if Ansu Fati is not there, we have other quality players on the bench. So at least we can say Ansu Fati's fitness can be guaranteed if Xavi keeps using him for the start the way he have been using him. But at least Ansu Fati plays all games, but not all the time. He mostly comes from the bench. So it has been reported by the Spanish journalist Adrian Sanchez that the youngster, is so frustrated by the fact that Luis Enrique decided not to call him up in the national team squad in their upcoming Nations League fixtures. Of course, it's quite understandable that Fati will be frustrated because people like Jordi Alba were called, and Jordi Alba has also been a bench product most of this season. So Luis Enrique given an excuse in his press conference that it's because Ansu Fati have not been playing regularly. I personally don't even see that as an excuse, but Ansu Fati have been featuring in most of the games, if not all of the games. Xavi at some point will put Ansu Fati from the bench and he plays some time. So I don't see that excuse even valid for me, because Jordi Alba also was called by the coach of the Spain national team. But Jordi Alba has been on the bench mostly. Alejandro Balde have been the one playing for Jordi Alba's place for the longest time this season. So I don't know, maybe something personal or his fitness issues has been the reason why, Luis Enrique is also cautious not to call him, and maybe something happens, they'll be like, no. So it is what it is, but hopefully Ansu Fati will be called for the World Cup in Qatar, because this is a period where most players, they don't even want to dare to miss the Qatar World Cup, because everybody wants to play there. It will be quite frustrating, more frustrating, if Ansu Fati does not appear in the World Cup squad. But I think he will. I personally think he will. But let's see how it goes. I think Luis Enrique. But if he keeps playing well, like if he keeps his form, his shape, his fitness good, then there's no reason why Luis Enrique won't call him for the World Cup in Qatar. Then on to the next story of discussion. The past month or so have been quite weird for Barcelona striker Memphis Depay. The Netherlands international joined the club in the summer of 2021 on a free transfer, arriving at the request of then manager Ronald Koeman. But with the Dutch tactician getting sacked within months, Depay had to win over new manager Xavi Hernandez. Despite struggling with injuries, the 28-year-old managed to make a valuable contribution in his debut season and convince Xavi of his worth, finishing the 2021-22 terms as the top goal scorer of the club. However, come the summer window, the former Manchester United forward was suddenly deemed surplus to requirements as Barca signed Robert Lewandowski and Rafinha while renewing Ousmane Dembele's contract. It rendered Depay a mere squad member, and the Dutchman was told to leave the club. A move to Juventus seemed so close until it suddenly fell through. Even until deadline day, he was continually linked with an exit, only to end up staying put. The uncertainty over his future meant that Depay did not play much in the early part of the campaign and found himself way down the pecking order at Spotify Camp Nou. Despite that, Mundo Deportivo reports that the Netherlands striker showed great professionalism and attitude in training, which has been the reason why he has now started 2 La Liga games in a row. Indeed, the report states that manager Xavi has been left impressed and delighted by Depay's commitment and application in training sessions, even though he almost left the club at one point and has struggled for regular minutes in the squad. The Dutchman's teammates have also been impressed with his desire to succeed at Barcelona, all of which has contributed to a sudden increase in his game time over the past week. Indeed, Depay started the La Liga clash against Cadiz over a week ago, and then featured from kickoff once again this past weekend against Elche, in which he even got his first goal of the season. After not playing a single minute in his first 4 league games of the season, Depay has clocked 116 minutes in the previous 2 matches. It may well be an indicator that the Dutchman might have edged past Ferran Torres in the pecking order of things. Nonetheless, Xavi and Barca seem happy with how Memphis Depay has dealt with the entire situation after having been nearly forced out of the club in the summer. So guys, with that we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.